Cool. Well, let's rock and roll. So I'm Craig Rieger. I'm the founder of Rieger Coaching and Consulting. We are based out of Portland, Oregon, so not too far from Idaho. Been in the business for some 20 something years. Until recently, I owned a series of brokerages with a couple of the folks on today. I've got Miss Katie DeWitt and I've got Josh Cooley. I'll introduce them a little deeper in a moment. But we sold all of our companies. Katie's still a broker over. Josh and I sold ours, and it's because we absolutely love coaching agents. And although in our network we had just about 1,000 agents altogether, there's 1.4 million agents in America, and we've got a passion to help agents do more business, or have more balance, or be more consistent. So we're going to share with you some strategies today. As Seth shared, it's going to be kind of a smaller group, which is cool. Like, we've done this for as many as 1,000, 2,000 people on, and today it looks like we might end up in the better part of a dozen. What I like about that is we can communicate. Like, you can unmute yourself, you can type in questions, and we can go pretty deep to what's happening in your market right now. I'm losing my voice because it's my third webinar of the day, but I promise the content will be strong, or it'll just come back. Really happy that I'm sitting here in Eugene, Oregon. So although I'm based out of Portland, I got to spend the last 2 days here with Katie and Josh, my business partners here at Rieger Coaching Consulting. So Josh, it's cool that you tagged on, are going to help us out today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Right on. So Josh is our head coach here at the coaching company. Josh oversees, hires, and trains all of our coaches. Katie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I have been working with Craig for like 8 something years. And so I'm just going to be kind of helping out you guys. If you guys could turn on your cameras, Megan is by far my favorite person already because she immediately turned her camera on. So you already win like all the points for today. But the rest of you guys, we love this. This is an intimate group setting that we just want to get to know you, ask questions locally. Like, this is very tailored to what you guys want to hear. So if we could see your faces and then ask questions. But yeah, I've run a couple of successful real estate brokerages. I own one as well, and I'm a coach as well.
Good job. And then we got Maddie G, another one of our business partners based out of Salem, Oregon. He's also a coach. So what's your role, Maddie?
Well, I'm vice president of client care and development. So one of my favorite roles is when you start working with us, I get to have direct conversations with you to check in and see how things are going. I will throw in a pitch for AmeriTitle. I'm a former AmeriTitle employee here in Oregon. For those of you partnering with them, they're a great organization. So we're thrilled that they brought you here on the call today.
Right on. So it looks like we've got about 3 people. Looks like we have Megan, Brittany, and Ashley. Is that correct, Katie?
Megan, Brittany. I don't see Ashley's video, but
she said she was having some trouble getting it working, but she'll hop on here soon, I hope.
We have 3 other people listening, so we have like a total of 5 people right now.
All right, rock and roll. Well, this is going to be an intimate group. Let's make it happen. To Megan and Brittany, and to the gentleman just got on the right. I think I know him pretty well. This is going to be a fun afternoon together. So, Josh, you want to load up the PowerPoint? We'll get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
What's going on, Morgan?
How are you, man?
I'm doing really good, dude. A couple of days of business planning here in Eugene has been just what the doctor ordered. And this is my final meeting of the trip. And I get to drive home and see my wonderful family tonight. So yeah, it's been rad.
I like it how you make it seem like an hour and a half is like you're driving cross country.
Yeah, I'm pretty fast. Pretty fast. All right, let's go to the next slide, Josh. Let's dive in.
Yes.
All right, we're going to start here with Good to Great, Mr. Jim Collins' fabulous book. Greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness, it turns out, is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline.
Well done.
What does that mean to you, Josh? Like, what does that quote? How's that resonate in your business?
Well, intentionality. You do things that you choose to do to get to where you want to go. And so you need a plan, you chart your course. That's what it means to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It means to me that most of you on this call probably want more listings, right, Morgan? In Pocatello, from the amazing AmeriTitle, there's 1.2 months of inventory. 1.2 months, right? What does the National Association of Realtors say is a balanced market, right? We all know buyer's market, seller's market. They say balanced is 6 months.
Yep.
6 months. Pocatello's at 1.2 months. That tells me that you guys have strong, well, you're like everywhere else in the country. It means you've got a shortage of inventory. And Josh and I actually can debunk that. What were you telling me today about Eugene, Oregon, your market?
Yeah, it appears that there's no inventory because things go pending quickly, yet there's about 35 homes that are listed here every day and 35 go pending. So the agents that are actively engaged in the market are actually crushing it, and there are homes being sold.
So you don't have a shortage of inventory. You have a lot of inventory coming on every single day. It's just selling that same day.
Yep.
Where historically that inventory could take a week or a month, or in a very different market, 6 months to sell.
Sure.
Yeah, it kind of bugs me across the country when agents are like, we have a shortage of inventory. No, you don't.
No.
I guarantee if I look at your pendings, there's tons of them in your market. It's just, they're just moving and turning faster.
You know, in most markets, we're actually seeing an uptick in Q1 more sales than they were the year before.
Agreed. Why do you think that is?
Well, people are moving all over the place. So it's like the great, migration all over again. And prices are going up. All right. So people that can sell and getting out of the market are doing it.
That's it. We're stealing 2022 sellers. And they're being like, wow, like my house has gone up. I mean, Morgan, I get to coach with Mr. Morgan Peterson. Thanks for being on this call. So, you know, I know that Idaho Falls a little bit further away than Pocatello, but you know, I've got some familiarity with your market. And Morgan's like, man, prices have gone up in some houses, $40,000, $50,000 in my market in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what that's created is there's a group of sellers saying, I was probably going to wait till Johnny went off to college and sell my house next year.
Right.
But now they're like, wow, my house went up 50,000, game on, let's sell now. So I don't really feel there's a shortage of inventory. What there is there's a lot of agents competing for it.
Right.
So when I see this quote, what it means to me is like, okay, well, it's greatness is not a function of circumstance. Our circumstances is listings are selling really quickly. There's an abundance of agents because in every hot market, a lot of people join our industry, and I don't have enough listings. That's the circumstances I'm against. Well, greatness, it turns out, is a matter of conscious choice. Okay, my conscious choice is it is currently the 8th of April.
Yeah.
I intend to take 4 listings. By the way, how many did I take last month? 1. I intend to take 4 listings. I'm just hypothetically making this up between now and the 30th of this month.
Great.
Period. Like that's my conscious choice. Morgan and I talk about this with his teammates and the discipline every single day. Now, the discipline, my conscious choice is I'm going to go and get my unfair share of listings. Period. If I can take 4 listings, that's money in the bank. We're in a market that unless I completely screw up the pricing, I can guarantee I'll have those properties sold in 2 to 10 days.
No, if you do it right, not popular with all agents, but if you do it right, you're probably going to sell it yourself if you're engaged in the market because you're working with buyers that are also looking for a home.
Yeah.
So
those 4 sales could turn into 5 or 6.
that's what we're seeing.
I might do a really good job for a seller. And we're going to give some strategies before today's over, Seth, I promise, on how to go and take more listings. But right now we're on foundation. I might do a really good job for a seller. And the neighbor across the street might call and say, hey, Rieger, I saw what you just did. Can you come over and talk to my wife and I about selling our home? So those 4 could turn into 5 or 6. Is that fair?
Easy.
I could do a really good job for that homeowner out of those 4 listings. That's my conscious choice that I'm going to take in the month of April. And that homeowner who I do a really good job for could refer me to their coworker.
Yeah.
Right. You understand it's compound interest. We don't get that conscious choice of those 4, and that should easily turn into 5, 6, 7 closings. That's my conscious choice. The hard part is the discipline. Right. It's currently, I think you guys are a different time zone. It's currently 2:00 in Portland, Oregon, 2:11 to be exact. My conscious choice as of this moment is I will take 4 listings between now and midnight on the 30th.
Yeah.
The discipline is will I actually show up tomorrow and do the right activities? And guess what, Katie? I'll probably fail. I probably will not take a listing contract tomorrow, but the discipline is will I show up tomorrow and do the right activities? And then the discipline will be, I really want to go golfing Saturday. Will I show up Saturday and not golf and do the right activities? And then maybe Monday is my day with family or prayer or spiritual. And then Monday I come back to work. Will I have the discipline to do those right activities? Does that make sense?
100%.
That's what this quote means to me. And this is my favorite quote in the book. And I start with this because I mean, you and I talked about it. I've spent 2 days at your house. My brother passed away. That sucks, 5 months ago. During the midst of a worldwide pandemic, your family has gone through some medical things this year. We've had some crazy circumstances around the world, literally around the world in the last 12 months. And then we throw on the normal things that happen. People pass away, people get sick, and it's just been more magnified than ever before. Is that fair?
Totally.
So that's why this quote resonates with me, man. There's a lot of circumstances out there. And I very much appreciate Mr. Jim Collins sharing with us that our greatness is not a function of all these circumstances. It's a function of our conscious choice and our discipline. Let's go to the next slide.
Do it.
All right, we like to open up with this here at RCC. It's kind of our, it's not kind of, it's our foundational org chart. Every agent on the planet is the CEO of their company. Do you want to work at ABC Real Estate or XYR Real Estate? Right? Do you want to buy Zillow leads or do you want to build a sphere-based business? Do you want to do open houses this weekend or do you want to sleep in? You recognize only a CEO can make those decisions.
Right.
No one can make you join a real estate company. You either join it or you don't. You stay at it or you don't. Right? As a CEO, you get to decide, do I work with the best title company on the planet and send my escrows to AmeriTitle? Or do I choose another title company down the road? Only a CEO can make those decisions. And every one of you on this call is a CEO, period. And then there's a listing agent. Listing agent is what we call here at RCC, it's the surgeon. Right? It's the head surgeon in the hospital. When you think about a hospital, there's a lot of roles. There's nurses and there's people that come in and clean up the rooms. Like there's so many roles. And the listing agent is the highest dollar per hour activity in your business, period. It just is. You know, you're in a market where you get a listing appointment, whether it's your best friend from church or maybe you met him through a cold call, maybe it's a past client, and you go, well, let's role play it, Katie. Will you role play with me?
Yeah, of course.
All right, Katie, you're also in Eugene, Oregon.
I'm 2 doors.
Let's pretend your average sales price is around $250. Is that fair? Just so we can match Pocatello?
Yeah, totally.
All right, Katie, you're a licensed agent, by the way. You know that. So you go on a listing appointment tonight. It's your best friend and they hire you.
Yeah.
Is that pretty cool?
Yeah, feels great.
How many agents work in Eugene, Oregon, approximately?
About 2,000.
Okay, so if they hire you, regardless of how you ended up in their living room, you just beat out about 1,999 agents, yes or no?
Sure did.
Well, here's what's pretty cool. Pocatello has about 600 agents. So if any of our listeners today go on a listing appointment tonight and that seller hires them, I want to be really clear. They just beat out 599 other agents, Seth, that could have taken that listing from them. Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Right. So Katie, you get that listing, you put it on the market for 250,000. Are you in a market? What is today? Thursday?
I think so. Yeah.
I've been traveling. Sorry, I lose track of days.
Thursday.
You put a house on the market tonight. Are odds pretty strong, Katie, by Monday morning?
It'll be gone.
You'll have a signed contract?
It's 100% pending.
Okay. So on a $250,000 listing, can we just kind of guesstimate the average commissions around 8,000?
Yep.
Okay, if you go on that listing appointment tonight, Katie, how long are you there?
About 1 hour is how long it takes me for a listing appointment.
Okay, I'm going to argue at the $8,000 commission, you made $4,000 an hour. If you go to somebody's house tonight and they sign a listing contract with you, or maybe, you know, the next morning you dock you some, whatever, you get the contract signed after about an hour in their living room, that hour is worth half of your listing commission, which if it's 8,000, you just made $4,000 an hour. Now, Katie, congratulations on getting that listing signed. Now you drive back to your office and you start making a flyer, you start inputting it to the multiple listing. Pretty sure, Morgan, that your state and your company requires that you turn in the listing contract to your brokerage. Is that fair? So Katie, you drive back, you start doing all of those activities. What is that worth an hour?
Well, it sounds like you just described an admin. So I just went from $4,000 an hour to admin work in Eugene, Oregon, and your guys' market is probably about $12 to $17 an hour.
Whoa. I just went from making $4,000 an hour to $15 an hour. Not good or bad, but just a reality. Now, by the way, as you look at this middle graph, what we're talking about is being the nurse of your business. By the way, nurses are critical. Like they are a critical role. In no way, shape, or form am I undervaluing the amazingness that they bring to us and our clients.
Right.
But it's a different role than being a surgeon, right, Josh?
100%. Different skill set altogether.
Yeah.
At the highest level. Huh?
So why are we pointing this out? I'm not advocating that you guys go and start a team. That's totally up to you. Morgan's got a massive team. We're pointing this out. So when you look at what you did this week, right? It's Thursday, 3 o'clock. Look at what you've accomplished this week. Were you in a surgeon role or a nurse role? Where did you spend your time? Where did you spend your energy? And then of course there's a buyer's agent. To me, being a buyer's agent is well, it's negotiating contracts. It's winning in a competitive or helping your client win in a competitive situation. Being a buyer's agent is solving a low appraisal. Being a buyer's agent is strategizing how to get through a nasty home inspection. That's surgery work on the buy team. Probably worth $1,000 an hour to your market, your price point. And then we go to the showing agent, very different role than surgery, right? If surgery is helping your clients win in a competitive situation, opening doors at a really high level is not surgery. It's kind of nurse work. It's probably worth $50 an hour. So we only point this out so you have an awareness. Where do you spend your time and energy, and what is your financial return? And if we look back on the last 7 days, or we look back on the last 97 days of this year, where are you spending that time? And if you find yourself getting too caught up in the nurse role and you're not actually being the surgeon, which is negotiating contracts, getting listing contracts signed, what adjustments or changes can you make moving ahead to time block and be in those roles on a more consistent basis?
Sounds easy enough.
And then you go to the right side. If you want, you can hire an admin to do some activities for you. You could.
Yep.
You know, at the end of the day, if you don't have a house cleaner, you are the house cleaner. I don't judge that. I've cleaned my own toilets hundreds and hundreds of times. And at some point, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. And I created the ability to make a little bit more income and pay somebody to do that. Well, likewise, if I spend my time and energy, I get really good at getting listings, then I could potentially pay somebody to input it in multiple listing. I could potentially pay somebody to make that flyer. Does that make sense?
100%.
Not good or bad, my choice. If I love making flyers, I'll just keep making flyers. All right, Katie, anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, you know, this is such a good reminder. And I know poor Morgan's heard this like 6 times in like the last month, but it's a good reminder for the agent who is solo. And it's great for the person who does have a massive organization, because no matter what level you're at, you always revert back into old habits at some point, at some level. And so sometimes the difference from talent is how fast do we autocorrect, right? So it could be 1 week that I was like, holy crap, I started making flyers again, right? Or it could be, you know, a year of, oh my gosh, I took all this back from my admin, I've been doing it. So I love this reminder of just like what Craig said, look at the last 24 hours. Like, what have you done? Like, did you input something to MLS? Like $12 an hour. Did you go on a listing appointment? No. Oh, did you actually miss a listing appointment or an opportunity because you were doing $12 an hour activity work? So this is just so eye-opening. I love it every day because it just kind of like keeps me personally on my toes of like, crap, what did I do earlier today? Like, was I in the right lane? Was I doing something that was dollar per hour, you know, associated with what I need to be doing with my talent and my time?
Good job, Katie. Next slide, Josh.
Nailed it.
Crushed it. All right, lead generation, consistency. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to your success is found in your daily routine.
Sounds familiar.
And all of you, if you get bored, Josh and I just finished one of the best interviews I've had in my professional life with one of our coaches here at RCC, Mr. Adam Rutledge. Adam's in a small market like you. He's in Medford, Oregon. Small market. Adam is currently carrying 60 escrows in a small market. How awesome is that?
Crazy.
This is what Adam pretty much talked about for the entire 42-minute interview. I've got a routine. I wake up at 5:30. I work out from 6 to 7 a.m. 7 to 9 a.m. I'm with family and prepping my day. 9:30 at 5 exactly, I meet with my team. That goes for a half hour. 2 hours, I do this part right here, which is some form of lead generation or some form of lead follow-up.
If I heard correctly, Adam's actual time block that he has, and then he called it blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
It's 2.5 hours a day.
Yeah.
He only time blocked 2.5 hours a day to do the most important thing.
Yeah, we kind of went deep on it, and people were like, well, who do you lead gen? What do you say? Everybody wants that secret sauce. Who are you going to call? What do you say? Adam said, it doesn't matter. You give me 2 hours a day of consistent lead gen, I'll make you a killer. We literally said like, okay, great, Morgan, wake up tomorrow. And I'm not picking on Morgan, I just know him. Morgan, wake up tomorrow and do 2 hours of lead gen. You've never done this before. Let's just pretend. You're going to suck at it. But if you do 2 hours of lead gen, you don't get on Facebook, you don't have interruptions, you call some group of people, your past clients, your family, your friends, forced to buy owners, you circle prospect and neighbor in some capacity for 2 hours, you reach out to a group of people and you suck at it because you've never done it before. Okay, it's Friday. Nothing happened. Well, something happened. You put 2 hours in with 0 results. And then on Monday, you get back to work and you spend another 2 hours, right? This is the discipline from that quote. And you spend another 2 hours doing consistent lead gen. Is that possible, Josh, that I could be a little better on Monday than was on Friday?
Absolutely possible.
Probably still won't set an appointment because I suck at it so bad. Is that fair? Sure. Tuesday, I wake up. I go through my morning routine. I do 2 more hours of lead gen. Is it possible on Tuesday I'll be better than I was Friday and Monday?
So, am I hearing that you just have to be willing to suck for a little bit and just grind through it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll figure out objection handlers. Guess what? I'll get a pipeline. Like, Josh, do you want to sell your home? Hey, I can't talk right now. Craig actually might want to sell my home, but I'm taking my son to basketball. Can you call me in a couple of days? Now, on Thursday, I've got a warm call to call back, which is Josh.
Wow. And here you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's that simple. It's 20% of your activities is going to lead to 80% of your results. Let's hit the next slide. All right, it's critical to track your numbers. I know you're a big proponent of this. All of last week, you talked to 5 people. Low contacts. Pretty simple as a coaching world. Reach out to more people, right, Matty G? It's that simple. Okay, I had low contact to appointment. So in other words, I talked to a lot of people, but this is what we're just kind of going through. And no one's saying, Craig, come over. Okay, so what should I work on, Josh?
Maybe what you say.
Yeah, my scripts, my objection handling, my closing techniques. That's a good problem to have, by the way,
Yes.
because those are easy to tweak. Low listing appointments attended to taken. Okay, really simple. Why don't I just practice my listing presentation? There was a young lady, I guess I'm getting old because I can use that expression now.
Yeah.
There was a nice person that was in one of my offices. I used to own a bunch of them. And she moved to the East Coast. She followed a boy. And then she came back from the East Coast and just suddenly showed back up in my office. You know, we had like 200 agents. I was like, hey, you're back. She's like, yeah. She's like, can I practice my listing presentation with you? And I'm like, I'm pretty busy this week. And she's kind of great. She's like, I need to practice my presentation. Can you help me? I'm like, yes, ma'am. And the next morning she went through her presentation. She kind of sucked at it. And at the end of the meeting, she goes, can I practice this with you again? I really need to get good at listings. I'm like, okay, I'll see you in a week. I walked by the conference room and every day she was in that conference room with somebody practice her listing presentation. And over the course of that month, I probably went through 3 or 4 with her. And it was amazing by day 28, how incredible she was getting at it. All right, let's fast forward. This young lady walks back up to me 6 months later. And she just gives me a big hug. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm not like a big hugger. And she gives me a big hug and she starts crying. Morgan, this is a true story. She starts crying in the middle of the office, hugging me. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? She goes, Craig, I didn't tell you this. I didn't tell anybody this, but I lived in my car when I moved back from Oregon. I was broke. My family was done giving me money. I was living in my car. And the reason I asked you and everyone else in the office to practice their listing presentation with me, because I knew it was the fastest way to make money. I knew that if somebody allowed me to come over to their house, I could not take a gamble of not getting that listing because I needed money. So I practiced it every day. So when I got an at bat, I had the ability to overcome objections. I had the ability to articulate my value proposition. I had the ability to get the commission I wanted. And the reason she gave me a hug and was crying is she said, Craig, it's been 6 months and I've made over $100,000. I no longer live in my car. She goes, in fact, I have a beautiful apartment and I'm about 4 months away from saving enough money to buy a house. So when we talk about work on your listing presentation, she had what we call a big why. I mean, that's a really big why. My whole life has fallen apart. I'm living in my car. We don't have to get to that point. We can make a conscious choice to get really good at listings tomorrow. And then we can have the discipline, which she had, to every day go and make phone calls and ask people, do you want to sell your home? And then every day practice our listing presentation.
Every day. And we sum this up very simply in coaching. It's a skill or a will. You can take everything to that. If you have the will to do it, you can work on your skill. It's very rare that someone can't get good enough to do this job, right?
Yeah.
Well, and let's talk about the saturation right now. Craig, we've been, as coaches, we've been circulating the article about that there are more agents right now in America than there are homes listed. Right? There's so many agents right now. All of your clients right now know several or all of your everyone in your sphere and your database, they all know of another agent. And right now, things are complicated. There's never been a better time to be exceptional, and there's never been a worse time to be average. Right? Knowing your numbers, practicing your listing presentation every day, like you have to be on top of it right now in order to outbeat, right? What'd you say, 600 other agents around you? Like we have to know and be on top of our game right now.
Big time.
What'd you say? There's never been a better time for what, Katie?
There's never been a better time to be exceptional, and there's never been a worse time to be average.
It's awesome. Next slide. Thank you, Katie. All right, just listed with a twist. Why don't we unshare screen for a second, Josh? So we'll go through this. And for any of you that want a copy of our slides, we've got literally hundreds of scripts. We can send those to you as well. Just comment in the chat box and put in your email address, and Miss Katie and Matt we'll get those over to you. So why don't we role play this one, Katie? All right, so to get this one, Brittany, you've got to go on a listing and get it. She's like, oh my gosh, she's talking to me. Hi, Brittany. We just changed the screen, so now I can see your guys' smiley faces. So you've got to get one listing. It can be your best friend. It can be your mom. Somebody signs a contract with you in the next few days. Is that fair?
Yep.
All right, Katie, you're that person in my world. I'm a real estate agent. You and Derek are homeowners. I go to your house tonight and I do my listing presentation and you say you're hired.
Yep, let's work together.
Yay, congratulations. I'm so excited to be your agent. Katie, I want to get you the most offers because the most offers will get you the most amount of money. Is that fair?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, to do that, I'd like to ask for your help.
Okay. What do you
It is not uncommon. The buyer of your house will come from your neighborhood. Let me repeat that. It's not uncommon. The buyer of your house will come from your neighborhood. There could be somebody living a block away and they like your house better than theirs. There could be somebody living a block away and they want their sister to move into the neighborhood so the kids can play together. That happens all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So Katie, I can go to my buddy at AmeriTitle and I can get, that list of people and I can send out a just listed, just sold postcard like all my other knucklehead competitors do, or I can up that game. And what I can do, Katie, is I can have 100 letters set from you. You guys are bouncing around. It's like musical chairs on my board. Katie, I can have 100 letters set from you, right? If you go and check your mailbox and you get something from the power company and you get a second something in the mailbox and the return address is from one of your neighbors, would you open that up?
Without a doubt.
So here's all it's going to say, dear neighbors. So it's going to come from you. I'll do all the work. I'll type it. I'll lick the envelopes. I'll send it. I just need your permission. So guys, this is gold. Megan Pay, you are paying attention, Megan. I like your style. This will get you more business. I guarantee it. So dear neighbors, we've just listed our home with Craig Rieger at ABC Realty. We're going to hit the market this week. We wanted to share with you that our property is coming up for sale. If you know of anybody looking to move into our neighborhood, please contact my agent, Craig Rieger. Thank you, Katie and Derek. Katie, if I send that out to 100 of your neighbors with your return address written by you, that could help me sell your home. Can I go for it?
Go for it. I don't have to do anything and you're just using my name. Go for it.
That's it. Then I call my buddy Seth. Seth, can you unmute yourself for a second?
Heck, dude, I've stayed unmuted this whole time.
Seth, it's Craig Rieger, your favorite real estate agent on the planet. How you doing, bud?
I'm freaking awesome. How are you?
God, I love your energy. I'm great. Thank you for asking. Dude, I love AmeriTitle, and my mission on earth is to send you guys more escrows. How does that sound?
Well, that sounds like the best thing you could do.
Hey, Seth, I just listed Katie's house at 123 Main Street in Pocatello, Idaho. Dude, do you guys have a way to get me like the nearest 100 neighbors that live around her?
I absolutely do. I can pull a farming list for you and get you mailing labels printed tomorrow.
Can you send those in mailing labels so I can just peel them off and stick them on envelopes?
I absolutely can. Yeah.
Buddy, you're a stud. I appreciate you, Seth. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, so I'm going to mail those out to the 100 neighbors. This takes work. By the way, whose job is this, Katie?
Admin.
Oh, so not me as the surgeon. It's my admin doing this. And if you don't have an admin, that's okay. Then you time block, right? Morgan, you're the admin of your own company. Let's fast forward 4 or 5 days. Katie, it's been 5 days. I show up at your house. Congratulations, Katie. I got you 3 offers.
Ooh, thank you. You made me an extra 30,000. I appreciate it.
Well, probably not Pocatello. I made you 10 extra, but let's not get excited. All right, so I made you 10,000 over asking. Congratulations. Morgan thinks I'm funny. Congratulations. Let's role play where we're standing, Katie. I made you 10,000 extra. How happy are you?
I'm very happy. Thank you.
You should be. We knocked it out of the park. Can I get your help?
Yeah, anything you want.
There is like no listings, and I love your neighborhood, and I want to do more business in it. Katie, could I send out another letter? And here's all it's going to say: Dear neighbors, I promised my agent, Craig Rieger, if you did a great job, I would tell the neighborhood. If you have any desire to buy or sell real estate, I highly recommend Craig Rieger. We've enjoyed being your neighbor. We sold our house with multiple offers. Take care, Katie and Derek. Katie, could I write that and send it out to 100 of your neighbors?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Well, I got you 10,000 over, so it's a good team. Thank you. I love and appreciate you. So if I send that second letter out, Morgan, to the neighborhood, what's going to happen? Morgan's muted.
Morgan's muted.
Morgan's muted.
Yeah, it's just a like a testimonial, or it's a what's it called? I mean, somebody's vouching for you, and so it's just going to make it that much more powerful. So an endorsement, that's the word I was looking for.
From a neighbor. Is that more powerful than me telling the neighborhood how great I am?
100%.
Morgan, you're kind of a big deal. I respect you. I consider you a friend, and I respect you as a business owner. And you've been doing this for quite a while at a high level. Morgan, have you ever sold a house and then pulled in the neighborhood to pick up your lockbox and saw your competitor sign across the street? Or has that only happened to Josh and I here in Oregon?
It's happened a lot.
Oh, it's happened a lot, right? Megan knows what I'm talking about. Guys, don't you think when a house goes on the market and sells, there's somebody sitting in their house being like, Josh, the Johnsons just sold. I heard they got 12,000 over asking. I want a bigger home. We should be selling our house. That happens all the time in neighborhoods, yes?
There's a name for that.
What's it called?
It's like, well, I don't know the actual name, but it's like law of the sign or something to that effect, where 3 people will sell their home within 6 months of being an eye shot of that sign. It's a 1978 study, and it still rings true today.
It's awesome. So you understand you can go knock on their doors. Cool. You can get a list and cold call them. Watch out for the do not call list, but you can do that. Cool. You can send out a just listed just postcard. Okay. Or you can have the testimonial, as Mr. Morgan Peterson just shared with us. You can have that sent out to the neighborhood by the person you just helped reach their goals. And I guarantee you, they will interview you to sell their house. Some of them will in that neighborhood. So instead of seeing your competitor sign across the street, you're going to take down your sign. You're going to walk across the street and stick it in the neighbor's yard.
Nothing like a good at bat.
It's pure gold.
Yep.
Do you guys think that'd work in your market? Yeah, I guarantee it will, guys. Again, if you want a copy of that script, we have it all typed out. We have a copy of the letter we actually mail. All you've got to do is put your contact info in the little chatty box. And Matt and Katie and Destiny's nodding her wonderful head. They'll send that over to you.
Done.
All right, should we go back to the PowerPoint?
Literally just got a call last week from someone who took that from last year. He always hit 10 for a couple of years, or he's new in the industry. For 2 years in a row, hit 10 homes. All he did was implement that for 6 months, and he went from 10 to 15 homes. Like just that one thing.
Well, while Josh is loading that, I want to share, we own a coaching company. We just do. Josh is crushing it here.
I'm not tech.
You're doing a great job, Josh.
Thank you.
We own a coaching company. And so that's an example. In 6 months, we helped somebody sell 5 more homes. Okay, we have an $8,000 commission. That's pretty basic math. That's $40,000. Pretty sure we don't charge our clients $40,000 for 6 months. Is that fair, Katie?
That's fair.
So we've got hundreds of these ideas. Today, we're going to give you a handful for free. And if any of you are interested in talking to us for a no pressure consultation about what we do for our clients and what we can do for you, I'd welcome that opportunity. Morgan, how many people on your team is My Company coaching?
I can't even, I mean, I lose count. I'd say 7 or 8.
I think we're right around there. Yeah, 7 or 8. I mean, Morgan is spending thousands and thousands of dollars a month for his own personal coaching and his team members. And it was cool. The dude took the entire month of March off and went to Costa Rica. And we had our first call last week. He got back. I was like, Morgan, you're gone for a month. What happened? He goes, my team's on fire. They sold so many houses. And then he gave us some credit back. He said, hey, I've got good people. And Craig, your company's coaching helped them be more successful while I was gone. That's pretty cool. Let's go to the next slide. All right, A, B, and C leads. We've all heard this one a million times. Yeah, what's an A lead? Well, they're going to buy or sell the next 30 days. What's a B? More than 30 days. What's a C? More than 90 days, whatever. I agree with that premise. We've all heard of it. In fact, I was using one of your team members' offices today, and she has a big whiteboard, and she said A, B's, and C's. She has her clients labeled out on her whiteboard. I think it was Marsha's office. Here at RCC, this is my definition of an A. They take your advice. And A takes your advice. You're the expert. They're motivated. They take your advice. So, Josh, you looked at this house, you love it. It's $250,000. You're a buyer, by the way. I've talked to the agent. There's 2 other offers in. And based on everything I know and can see, if you don't offer at least $9,000 above asking, you're going to lose.
Let's do it.
That's what an A says. They're not like, dude, I'm so happy to pay $9,000 over asking, high five Rieger. They're like, hey, if that's the market we're in, and as the expert I hired you are telling me that's what I got to do, that's what they do. And A takes your advice. Now, on the flip side of B is Josh is 250. There's 2 other offers in. It's been the market for 3 days. Everything I'm seeing says you're going to have to come in about 8,000-9,000 over asking, but you're a B. What do you say?
I don't know. Is there anything else we can do?
No, you either have to pay more than asking or you're going to lose.
Okay.
Yeah. No, B says, no, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good. I'll just come in at full price, Craig. You know, if it works out, it works out. If not, that's fine. That's a B. A C is really just a train wreck. The C is like, they're not even ready to buy. They've got to sell their home first. They're waiting to get a job offer accepted. They're waiting for their tax money to come through because that's their down payment. They've got something that's probably even stopping them from moving forward if they wanted to. The reason I'm camping on this, Katie, because there's people on this call right now who yesterday spent time working with B's and C's.
Yep.
It is the biggest beatdown in the real estate industry.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like you go and show them houses and then they find one and you tell them where they need to come in at and they say, no, it's fine. And then they lose. And you spent your whole day doing that, sometimes weeks. And you go home and it's like, gosh, when I worked with B's and C's, I'd go home, I wanted to kick the cat. You know, my kids would run up to hug me and I was in such a, excuse me for this, Seth and Morgan, I was in such a pissed off mood. I wasn't even hugging my kids because I was just so frustrated. I mean, you want to work for 8 or 9 hours. You're the expert. They don't take your advice. They lose. I don't know if you're like me, but you don't go home clicking your heels. You're in a bad mood.
Well, in this market, working with a B is an extra 60 hours a week.
Why was I working with B's and C's? Why do so many people, Katie, in our industry work with B's and C's?
Because we don't have enough A's. If we had a million listings right now, we would turn down a B who said, well, I kind of want to see this property again, or I'm kind of interested, we might want to buy it. Like, we wouldn't hang out with them if we had someone else comparatively saying, hey, I'm going to write an offer today. Like, I need you to show me this house today. I have the cash, I'm approved, I'm going to list that offer. I would sorry, B, have a great day. I will reschedule with you at a later time. I have someone else more, I wouldn't say that part, but I have an A I need to go work with.
Yeah, you make something up. You're like, no, I can't meet you today. And you go and sell the A house. The reason as an industry, we get stuck working with so many B's and C's, I'll say Craig Rieger style, is because as an industry, we suck at finding A's. We just do. And we suck at it because we're not consistent for an hour or 2 hours a day. Now, there's no club A. Like Morgan took me to Idaho Falls. Andrea, my other business partner, and I about 7 months ago. Dude, that steakhouse was phenomenal, by the way. I woke up, I was on the river. It was a beautiful place she brought me to. But Morgan, there was no club A. There was no place we went to where all these like motivated people hung out. The only way to find, if there was, I'd give you guys the secret sauce. The only way to find A's is every day to wake up and look for A, B's, and C's. And the A's are super simple. You put them in your car and you sell them a house. The A's are super simple. You put a sign up in their yard and you take their listing. And then the B's and C's you don't work with. You go to the left side of our screen here and you put them in the funnel. You put them in the funnel and you communicate with them on a consistent basis via newsletters, via emails, via messages, but you don't give them your time. Now what happens is when you communicate with your B's and C's, they come out the bottom as A's.
Mhm.
Here's where agents really freak out. Like, well, Craig, what if I tell them I'm not going to show them homes and I put them in my funnel and they jump out of my funnel? Okay, let's play that out. They jump out of your funnel and then they go and work with an inexperienced agent who wastes their time with them. What did you lose?
Nothing.
Now, on the flip side, I don't care if they jump out of the funnel, because what am I going to do tomorrow?
Find more A's, B's, and C's.
I'm going to wake up and find more A, B's, and C's. I have no fear. We just went from what we call a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. So just like Marsha, how many houses did Marsha sell last year?
45.
45 houses. Marsha doesn't suck. Marsha's an agent on his team. I was in her office using a little bit ago. Be like Marsha. Get a board in front of you, a whiteboard, and list your A's and list your B's and list your C's.
Well, and more importantly, you have to revisit that, because what might have been an A, because you fell in love with them, you did your first appointment, and then you show them houses, you actually realize they are a B, but then you fell in love with them. We all fall victim of this, is that the more time we spend with these people, we become attached with them, and here comes a B all of a sudden, and spend 2-3 weeks, and all of a sudden you're realizing they're not an A anymore. They're not actually motivated. And that is a huge, again, having a coach to each week say like, hey, like 2 minutes, let's just spend on like, who did you spend your time with this week? Like, oh, well, this person, like, oh, okay, like that doesn't sound like an A anymore. Like, oh crap, I just fell into the habit of answering their call and texting and showing them properties again, or whatever that looks like. So you guys, this is a very common mistake that they could have been an A, but they might be a B now. So to constantly have a coach, a mentor to reevaluate your time on a consistent basis, because we all fall victim of this.
Yeah, really well said, Katie, especially in a market like this, because we have clients that start out as A's and then they see how robust and how quickly things are selling, and often for above full price. And then they kind of back out and they're like, ah. So yeah, I agree. It's something that has to be monitored consistently. And again, if you hire a great coach, they'll help make sure you do that. Next slide, Mr. Cooley. What are your sources of business? What we find when we interview Morgan, the top agents on the planet, Morgan, what we find is I've got two really good friends on the planet. Morgan, I personally coach, and Mr. Mike Hicks actually stayed a week in my hotel room in Dallas, Texas. So you guys have some superstars in your market. The top agents on the planet typically have 3 main sources of business. Typically have 3, and they never turn out, Katie, to be 33, 33, 33. But they've got 3 main sources of business. Mm-hmm. I really hope for each of us we'll have Sphere or past clients or some capacity. That should be one box. What are your 3 main sources, Josh?
We've got a subdivision listed, our database.
So new construction.
New construction, which brings in a lot of opportunities. So we source it there too.
Totally.
We do pay for leads online. As a growing team, we think that's a great way to get people at bats and practice.
So I'm hearing new construction. I heard the word database.
Yep.
And I'm hearing paying for leads online.
Check.
That's your 3.
Yep.
Awesome. Mine is similar. Mine is my database. Mine is paying for leads, like you. Mm-hmm. And then my third is, but by the way, there's no secret sauce. Like you can't just pay for a lead and expect to sell a home. Diligent follow-up. If you don't put that in the mixer, you're not paying for leads. You're just flushing money down the toilet. So number 1 is my database. Number 2 is paid leads. Number 3 is prospecting. For sale by owners, expires. I'll give a couple of those scripts. I know we have about 12, 13 minutes left. Does that sound okay?
Yep.
So what are your 3 main sources of business? And for some of us, that's changed, right? For some of us, like 2 years ago, we're dominating open houses, but because of COVID, maybe that wasn't such a great source last year. What could you replace that with? Next slide.
Well, and just starting with 1. If you don't have a strong 1, let's really make sure that you are the master. Again, we need to be exceptional right now in this industry. So let's master 1 before moving on. So if you're at 2, then you can go 3. So just really making sure you're not wasting your time on trying to find that 3rd one right now. Just master 1.
Okay, let's do this. Good job, Katie. We're going to hit database. Then I'm going to give you 2 or 3 listing lead generation strategies. We'll have any Q&A and we'll get you guys off in 14 minutes. How's that sound?
Perfect.
So here's the question I want each of you to ask yourself, and you just take off the PowerPoint, Josh. This is my favorite question on the planet when I'm brought into a room and I get to start interviewing agents. So I'll ask Jennifer. You don't have to answer me, Jennifer, but you could if you want. Jennifer, you sold me a house 1 year ago today. It was April 8th, 2020, and you sold me a house. You did a really good job. Thank you. So it's been 1 year today. Jennifer, how many times have I heard from you in exactly 12 months since you handed me my keys? Would you just guess in your business?
You want the honest answer or
Yes,
the
ma'am.
real answer?
I want the honest answer.
You've heard from me twice.
Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer, for your honesty.
Yep.
Let's give Jennifer a round of applause. For Jennifer being so brave, Destiny, will you send her some RCC swag if she's kind enough to give us her email address, and then we'll get her business address and send that to her, because I appreciate your honesty very much, Jennifer. Jennifer, here's what I'm going to just coach you right now, or at least teach you. National Association of Realtors, NAR, all of you are a member of NAR, right? Brittany, I'm sure you are. Morgan, you are. Josh is, I am, Katie is, Matt is. Seth's probably not, he's a title guy. NAR interviews consumers, like 100,000 of them a year, Brittany. And they say, hey, how'd that go? Would you use that agent again? And out of 100,000 of them, 9 out of every 10 says, you guys were great, I'll use you again as my agent. As an industry, good job. 9 out of 10 is high. Kendall knows there's a lot of stress buying and selling a home. Lenders can screw it up. Home inspectors can stress it out. Like, for 9 out of 10 people say, this was awesome, I'll use you again. We're doing really good. Here's the kicker though, guys. Hold on tight, Jennifer. I'm talking to you still. Maddie G, what percentage of consumers, when they go and buy or sell their second home, what percentage of consumers use the same agent that they previously used?
Oh, the stat is so not as great. NAR says 11 to 17% use the same agent.
Holy crap, Seth. 9 out of 10 people said I had a great experience, I'll use you again. And on average, 1 out of 10 use the same agent for their next real estate transaction. Brittany's nodding, she gets it. So Matt, what's the number one reason that they go and fall in love with somebody else?
They're just not staying in front of their people consistently.
Yeah, it's truly that simple. And what's our number one tool, Katie, to stay in touch with people?
Database.
It's our database, or here at RCC, we call it our data bank. So Jennifer, I'm going back to you. Good job, you're amazing. I appreciate your honesty. If you stayed in touch with your people twice a month, your family, your friends, your past clients, your hairstylist, your dentist, your doctor, you stayed in touch with all of them just twice a month, do you feel this guy's like, hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm talking to Jennifer right now, big guy. Like, if you stayed in touch with them twice a month, do you feel you'd have more referrals than you had?
Absolutely. And that was somebody from AmeriTitle, just for the record.
I'm just teasing. He seemed like a nice individual.
Yes.
That's the reality.
Ideally, I wish that I stayed in contact more.
Yeah, well, you can start today. You can hire us as your coach, and I promise you I'll make you an extra 100,000. Morgan can attest to that. At the end of the day, guys, it's like, we are just, not you, Jennifer, as an industry, we're just complete morons. Like, we literally go, Kendall's like, whoa, yep, I said it. We go and hold open houses to convince a stranger to give us their contact info. And then we reach back out to that stranger and say, hey, do you want to hire me? And then we hope that stranger hires us. It's like, by the way, guys, I love open houses. They're rad, but just play this out with me. We go to a stranger's house. We hope other strangers come through. We hope that stranger gives us their contact info, and then we hope we can sell them a home. Yes or no? Yes. We do this for a living when we worked our ass off selling somebody a home, and then we touch them twice a year. Is that, sorry, but I called us as an industry morons, but tell me that I'm wrong. Yeah, Morgan is absolutely a moron. I know he's actually pretty, yeah, he might be. I don't know. He's a good guy. But at the end of the day, why are we convincing strangers to hire us when we have these people that we have such a great relationship with? And all we've got to do is remind them, when you think real estate, think of me. When you think real estate, think of me. Have any of you heard of a little company called Nike? What's Nike's, what's their slogan? Does anyone know? You can unmute yourself, not you, Josh.
Just do it.
Just do it. Nike's world headquarters are 4 blocks from my office in Portland. But if I went to China and asked, hey, what's Nike's slogan? They'd say, just do it. If I went to Egypt and asked Nike's slogan, they'd say, just do it. Nike has done a phenomenal job of saying, hey, when you think athletic apparel, you think Nike. Yes or no, across the board. Brittany, Jennifer, Megan, Kendall, your job in your neighborhood, your cul-de-sac, your community, Pocatello, your job is to convince people when you think real estate, think of Megan. When you think real estate, think of Brittany. All you got to do is have a database and touch those people consistently.
It's that easy.
And don't overthink it. All you got to do is, hey, houses are selling really fast right now. Hey, interest rates are low. Hey, there's 1.2 months of inventory. That's a touch. There's 1.2 months of inventory. Where did I get that stat from? I got it from Mr. Seth. That's a great touch. Don't overthink it. Make it easy. I actually didn't get it from Seth. I got it from his friend. I forgot her name though.
And Jennifer, as a brokerage owner, don't hesitate to like ask specific questions around your market to see if we can provide some additional value for you. You've got 13 other agents, I think you said, that you're mentoring and coaching. So, you know, we've got a small group, so we want to help support that for you.
Super rad. Okay, do you guys want a couple of listing strategies? You guys all agree that letter could be really helpful?
Yes.
Yeah, Kendall's like, I don't know, I think so. But the rest of you, good job. All right, so let's go with this. Let's do a couple just quick fire listing strategies. How's that sound? Josh, you want to role play with me?
Yep.
All right, so these ones actually take more work than the letter. Number one's a rent bow. You ever heard of a rent bow, Cooley?
No.
What's a FSBO?
For sale by owner.
They sell their house themselves. What's a rent bow? Well, they own an investment property. They rent it themselves. That's pretty easy. How do I find rent bows? They want to be found. They own a rental property and they placed an ad on Craigslist. They own a rental property. They put a sign up in front of it, Brittany, saying, call me if you want to rent my home. These people want to be found. All right, here's the script for rent bow. Ring, ring, Josh.
Hello.
Is this Josh?
Yes, it is.
Josh, this is Craig Rieger. I'm a local real estate agent here in Pocatello. I saw you're renting a property at 123 Main Street. Have you rented that out?
No.
Cool. Reason I'm calling is because we are down to 1.2 months of inventory. The market is red hot and there's an opportunity. If you sold it, I could get you multiple offers and sell it well above full price. If I could get you that type of action, would you be a seller instead of a landlord?
Maybe.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, it sounds like we should get together. How's today at 2 or tomorrow at 3?
Tomorrow at 3.
Perfect. This time say no to me. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Josh, it's Craig Rieger. I'm with XYZ Realty here in Pocatello. I saw you're renting the property 123 Main Street. Have you rented it?
Nope.
Cool. The reason I'm calling is the market's insane. There's 1.2 months of inventory. The average seller in your neighborhood is getting multiple offers and above full price. If I could get you that type of activity, would you be a seller instead of a landlord?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, clearly you're a savvy investor. You own at least one rental property. I'm looking for good deals all the time, Josh. If I found some more good deals in that area, do you want to add to your portfolio?
Sure.
Perfect. What's your email address? So I've got a guy that owns at least one rental property that just gave me his email address. Ladies and gentlemen, where do I put that?
Database.
I put it in my database. And then Jennifer, how frequently do I communicate with my database?
More than twice a year.
Twice a month, my dear, twice a month. So I now have Josh in my database. If I communicate with him at least twice a month, there's a high probability over the course of the next 6, 12, 18, 50 months, I'll become his realtor. Does that make sense? All right, do you guys want another one? Ring, ring, Josh.
Hello.
So this group is a group of people that have lived in their house for over 20 years. Hey, Morgan, in Idaho Falls, is there anyone that's ever lived in their house for more than 20 years?
Lunch.
Guess where I'll get this list from? My good buddy Seth, by the way. So Josh, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Josh, this is Craig Rieger. I'm with ABC Realty here in Pocatello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, buddy. The reason I'm calling is county records say you've lived in your house for about 25 years. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Josh, the market's red hot. The average seller right now is getting 2 to 3 offers and selling above full price.
Wow.
I'm calling you because you've owned your house for a long time. I'm guessing you've got very high equity. And I'm calling to ask if you've considered cashing that in this summer and selling your home.
No.
Perfect. Ring, ring. Hi, Morgan. This is Craig Rieger. I'm with ABC Realty. County records indicate you've owned your house for more than 22 years. The reason I'm calling is the market's red hot. The average seller is getting multiple offers above full price. I'm calling to see if you've thought about cashing in all the money you've made over these last 23 years and selling your home. Screw off, Craig. Ring, ring, Kendall. Ring, ring, Brittany. Here's a reality, though. This is the discipline we talked about at the beginning of the call. And if I get that list from Seth of everyone in Pocatello that's lived in their home for all that time, is there a high probability I'll find some people that want to sell?
Sure.
They're called downsizers, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real thing in life. Another group I might call in that similar vein would be people that have lived in their home for 4 to 7 years, specifically starter homes. Morgan Peterson, why would I call starter homes that they've lived in them for 4 to 7 years? I'll give you a hint, Morgan. How many kids do you have? Holy crud, congratulations. So wait, Morgan's got 5 kids. So if Morgan bought a home in a starter neighborhood, a first-time buyer type neighborhood, so a first-time buyer price point, is that fair? You didn't have 5 kids on one day, did you? You didn't have like 5 tuplets. So they were spread out over a period of time. Is that fair, Morgan?
It's fair.
Right on, brother. So you bought a house, let's just say in a starter neighborhood 6 years ago. I can get that list from my buddy Seth. I call up, it's like, hey, my name's Craig Rieger. I see you've lived in your home for 5 or 6 years. Congratulations, Morgan. You've probably gone up in value $70,000 to $100,000 over those 6 years. You don't know me, but I want to call and say congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Morgan, the reason I'm calling is that interest rates are low. So I don't know if you've looked at buying another home, a bigger home possibly, but it's an incredible time to sell, cash in on some of that equity and take advantage of the low rates and maybe go and buy another property. Is that of interest to you? And what I probably know is Morgan, of the 5 kids, might have had 2 or 3 of them during those 6 years he's owned that property. He's outgrowing those walls. Does that make sense? The other thing that organically or naturally happens, Destiny, over a 6-year period is young people tend to make more money by age 30 than they were at age 23. Is that fair? People tend to make more money by age 33 than they were at age 26. So there's 2 reasons to call people that bought starter homes 6 years ago. One, there's a high probability there's more people in the household than when they bought it. Number 2 is economically, and we've been in a very good economy, by the way, for the last 6 to 8 years. Economically, they're probably making more money. So anyway, this actually takes work, but these are all people we could call.
Yep.
Josh, is there anything brilliant regarding listings I missed out, or should we wrap?
Let's wrap.
Any questions from all of you on anything that we should have answered that we didn't? Come on. Did we do a good job? Did we help you guys today?
One thing I was gonna add, Craig, is that sometimes with the A, B, and C buyers, what I find with our team is sometimes I like the scarcity mindset. We don't want to be in that scarcity mindset, but at the same time, sometimes we get in, so we don't want to miss out on the deal, but sometimes those B's and C's masquerade as A buyers and makes you, and we don't pre-qual them enough to find out really where they are. And so we kind of just believe like 3 statements of what they say. I love this house. I really want it. And it's so pretty on the outside. And so then we automatically jump up, want to go show them that house instead of have you talk to a lender, start asking them basic questions. Have you bought a home before? Is this, have you been looking at homes? Are you working with an agent? These sort of things. And so anyway, that's one thing that I was just going to add in there that's helped us is that to set them is you got to pre-qualify them to be an A buyer.
Yes. It's really good, Morgan. It's really good. All right, we're going to give you our final little plug. We are an extraordinary coaching company. We take extreme pride in helping people have bigger businesses that are more consistent and having balance outside of work. Katie, do you want to take 45 seconds and tell them what they could do if they're interested, at least talking to us about it?
Yeah, we do a custom program. All our agents are in, or excuse me, all of our coaches are in production. And as we've talked about, with circumstances going on, that is really relevant to today. You want someone who can coach and mentor you and lead you in a direction with proven results with what's going on and changing daily. And all of our coaches are ready for that. So it's a tailored program. Our coaches only take a couple clients so that you are their world, their focus. They know everything about you. And we go from there. We handpick the coach for you based off your personality, your goals, and we work really closely, hands-on. We've really customized this to make sure that we hit your definition of success. So you guys message me directly if you're interested in a free coaching call, and we can see if we have the right coach for you and go from there and explain how it works.
Awesome, Katie. So did you put your contact info in the chat box?
That would probably make most sense. I'll do that right
Yes, I'm going to message Katie. We might want to put our contact info in the chat box. In addition to that, Mr. Seth knows how to get a hold of us. Mary Title, you are fantastic. All of you, thank you for playing along. Morgan, I like seeing your beautiful face. Everybody have a very powerful Thursday. And if you take nothing away, please look at the circumstances in your life and what will your conscious choice be starting tomorrow, regardless of those, and how disciplined will you be to reach that conscious choice. All right, everybody, have a great day. Take care. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Craig. See ya.
Have a
Thanks,
good
Seth.
one. Bye.